Right, so firstly we said at your address position before, there was a little bit of sort of excessive knee flex there, squatting down, getting your weight back on your heels, okay? Your spine angle was good relative to the golf ball, but being back on your heels then, it just tended the club to sort of swing, we call it a bit too flat, or as we said, a little bit sort of low and underneath that sort of swing line, okay? So as you went back now, as the club was swinging back, your hands and arms are always going a little bit low underneath that line there, not really getting the club up. And as the old saying goes, what goes up can come down, okay? If we swing the arms quite low there, it's very difficult to get into the ground, so what you then try to do now was sort of like a drop into it to try and get under the ball. If we didn't do it enough, we just caught top of the golf ball and the ball sort of scuttled down the fairway or popped up in the air 20, 30 yards and so on, okay? So the sequence now we're going to go through, and this is the thing to sort of just get used to doing every single shot, whether it's going to be when you're on the golf course, which you'll get eventually, putting from 3 foot, your tee shot off the first every hole, or your second shot, any shot in golf, we're going to start putting the club down behind the ball first, get that position correct, then get your grip, set your spine angle, and the last thing then you do is set your feet. So it's through those sequence of 4 things: club, grip, posture, and then your feet, okay? And once you get that correct, now you can see your address position there at setup. Compare that to before, with sort of the flex in your knees. Now you're in a position where your arms sort of hanging down underneath the shoulders there, okay? The weight now is equally balanced between sort of the arch of your feet there, and you've got a good angle there with your body. You could at least now reach the ball. If I was being hypercritical, you're possibly a little bit close to that ball, but I'd rather be a little bit too close to start with than be reaching for a ball and can't reach it and just missing the ball anyway. So at least now with the better angle, as we go back, that club now can get you a lot higher in the back, so your left arm sort of should be going across your shoulders, and there we're not too far away, okay? So in a position now, at least we can reach the ground. So if you come back into the golf ball, make a frame there. Good strike as we see. A little off the end of the club, but at least the club's getting low enough now to get the ball up in the air. And then we can rotate through. As I said, what we probably look at in a bit more detail in the next lesson is how you finish off the swing. When you were getting some good contact, some of the shots were going a little bit that way, just because the sequence of your body wasn't quite keeping up with the club. The club's always going to swing around your body, but if the body's not working in the right sequence, the club overtakes your body and it just pulled it to the left. Okay, so nothing to worry about. I'd rather you get a good contact first and basically get you hitting the ball up in the air and going forward somewhere. If it goes a bit left or a bit right to start with, it's not the end of the world. We can sort of straighten out as we go along bit by bit, okay? But trying to minimise the thought, okay? I know sometimes first lessons people are going, oh my God, it's a lot to take in. If we can minimise the thought to some extent, for me the most important thing is getting the static things correct, okay? If we can get set up as best we can, getting the club down first, get the grip, that angle now where your spine's going to be key. If you can get yourself in a position where you can at least reach the ground, you've got a chance. And that's all your setup's trying to do. If you set up incorrectly for anything, whether you're driving your car, playing rugby or basketball, having a free throw, whatever it may be, if you're set up poorly, the resulting execution of what you're doing, whether it's driving a car, hitting a golf ball, throwing a basketball or whatever it may be, isn't going to be the quality of you would do if you got in the best position. Now the beauty of golf is the ball not moved to your tip. There's no rush, no one's going to come and tackle you or steal the ball from you or whatever. You've got that time to go through that sequence. Now at the moment, there's probably an extra second per checkpoint to get yourself right, but 4 seconds is nothing really, okay? Over time, once you get used to doing it, it'll just happen sort of like that straight away. You'll be sort of putting the club down, boom, 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 and you'll be there in no time at all. And if we can get a consistent setup to start with, then your kind of sort of your own natural swing, which is pretty darn good to be fair, can then shine through. If we're setting up incorrectly, what you then instinctively start doing is making adjustments. So if you're topping the ball from this left-hand setup because you're too squat, you then start trying to drop into the ball, because if you're kitching top of the golf ball, you'll realise that and you go, right, I'm going to get the ball up in the air. I've got to get lower. Then you start trying to bend your knees more, drop into it. You create a fault to cure a fault. And 2 wrongs can make a right, but consistently not going to work very often. So on the range you might get a few good shots, but on the golf course, as you will eventually do long term, you'll be in some good shots and some really bad shots, and having 3 or 4 bad shots, 1 good shot, 3 bad shots, it's just be
trying to get consistent.
Exactly. We'd rather see your bad shot get better. Your good shot, by definition, is a good shot. It goes down the fairway up a like, nice distance. If your bad shot's going 10 yards in front of us, or we're missing it, that's going to cost you more than anything else, okay? Does that all make sense then, yeah?
Yeah.
Good stuff.